What if I told you that your financial advisor is living your dream life while you work so hard to give the money for him to invest it, and in fact, whether you do good or not, he's still living extremely well based off of how much money you are investing? And I want to show you exactly how this is happening, so this way you can be proactive in what you want to do moving forward into the future and get more sovereignty over your hard-earned money that you've been investing. Welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name is Matt Jimenez. I'm an entrepreneur who has worked with the greatest minds in finance over the last several years, and I'm here to pour into you guys everything they pour into me. And today we're talking about your financial advisor and how your portfolio's performance does not really pertain to his performance. In fact, he's making money hand over fist regardless if your portfolio grows or it gets completely diminished. The only thing that matters for him is how much money you're investing. And I mean this wholeheartedly. While you're grinding, saving, and investing, they're cashing in on your money. But here's the crazy part. If you're not managing your own portfolio, you're not just losing a little, you're funding their luxurious life. I mean, just look at the signs. If you've had a financial advisor during really rough times in the economy and his life seems to be unfazed, especially if you know them on a personal level, that is the biggest red flag that you could see right in front of your face. While you may be scrambling and your whole portfolio has taken a massive hit and financially you're under certain constraints, but yet your financial advisor who's managing your money seems to be unharmed by the lack of performance, this is something you need to pay attention to. We need to ask ourselves, why are we investing? And the answer is always simple. It's we want to build wealth. But here's the thing. Most people don't realize they're stuck in a rigged system. You work hard to put your money in a 401k or a mutual fund and or trust that it'll grow. But instead of growing faster, your returns are being skimmed off the top. Where's that money going? Not to you. It's going straight into the pockets of the fund managers and advisors who profit no matter how your portfolio performs. Let me explain how this works. Fund managers typically get paid two ways. First, they charge you fees, usually 1% to 2% or even 3% yearly. Second, they collect kickbacks for pushing you into overpriced funds. In fact, listen to this. According to the 2023 report by the S&P Global, 90% of mutual funds underperformed the market. If you don't believe me now, just look at this chart. So this is the results over 10 years. By looking at this chart, you could clearly see that it has underperformed in basically every single method of investing. You have the equity mutual funds, the equity institutional accounts, equity SMAs wrap, fixed income mutual funds, fixed income institutional accounts, fixed income SMAs wraps account. And if you don't know what the SMA stands for, it basically stands for accounts that were separately managed. So whether they threw you into a fund that was just a pool together of a bunch of different equities with other people's money, or if they put you into an account that was separately managed specifically for you, they underperformed the market year over year for the last decade. You're investing in products that can't even beat the simple index fund because your advisor gets paid more if he sells them to you. If you still think your advisor is looking out for you, you need to think again. Let's talk about fees because this is where they really get you. A 2022 Morningstar study found that just 1% of fees could cost an average of investors $1.1 million over the span of 30 years due to the compounding effect on the fees. Now that average of 1.1 million is coming out of the fees that they're charging you to get you in these funds, in which goes straight to their pocket. And that is 1.1 million. This is a dramatic amount of money that could drastically help the quality of your retirement, especially because these fees compound over time. So this chart is fund fees charged by asset managers, representatives by equal weighted fees. So each of these sectors, as you can see, has a fee in which the advisor gets paid if they get your money involved in any of these asset classes, like US equities in 2018, sitting at 1.12% in fees. And while it may not seem like a lot, remember, we have to look at the compounding effect over time, which is the very thing that you're actually doing to have the money aside for your retirement. They're doing the same thing for their retirement based off of the fees they're charging you to get involved with these funds. Right below it, the sector equity sitting at 1.36. And you could just look across the board. The lowest fee that I saw was 0.25%, ranging up all the way to almost 2% to just get you involved in these funds, whether the fund performs or not. Now, to help you conceptualize how this looks, I'm going to make an example here. Say you invest $10,000 into a 401k for the span of 35 years. That investment should grow to $148,000 on paper. But after fees, you'll most likely keep only $45,000. The other $103,000, that's going straight to your advisor's pocket. Now, I know that doesn't seem fair, but it's clear as day. You're taking all the risk while they're making all the money based off of the money you invest, not the money's performance. And while that sounds terrible, it actually gets a bit worse than that. Let's talk about the S&P 500, that magic number your advisor loves to show off as a benchmark. Here's the dirty secret. According to the Federal Reserve's data, the S&P 500 lost 22% of its purchasing power since the year 2000. That means even if your portfolio is matching the market, you're actually losing ground in real life. Why? Because the system is rigged. Governments borrow money that's printed to cover their spending deficits, inflating the money supply and driving up asset prices. In 2020, the Federal Reserve report revealed that the US money supply exploded over 40% in just 2 years. But who benefits first? Well, Wall Street insiders who know how to ride the wave. Meanwhile, everyday investors like you and me are left to deal with the fallout. A typical mutual fund does not only charge high fees, but also underperforms inflation-adjusted benchmarks. The system is designed to work for them, not for you. This is why everyday investors or just people trying to sustain their life have to become savvy, and they have to find a way to do this by beating inflation and beating all the things that are going against them. Everybody is forced to understand how investments work and find other alternatives where they can get yield. This is not financial advice, but it would be extremely smart to have your money in asset classes that are getting the benefit of all of this money printing and inflation that's happening. And now you're forced to be even more savvy than finding alternatives because of how fast things are going against you. Something that I have leveraged in my portfolio outside of traditional investments, cryptocurrencies, is leveraging algorithmic trading softwares because they work around the clock for me and they're extremely active. If you could find an effective one like the one that I'm using that has already done over 30% since I've started using it, you could hit the link down below and you could talk to the team and see exactly how this could potentially fit inside of your portfolio. If not, and you just enjoyed the information here on this video today, please leave me a like, comment, and or subscribe. And like always, my friends, peace.